Alright, I'm on hole number 7 of the City of Light tournament. Let's go to Golf Clash Notebook and check it out. We're in Tuesday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Okay, I believe the wind in this tournament is running like this, so it's kind of skirting along this edge. The whole goal here is not to have to do any overpower, so I'm going to bring an extra mile and a Titan. Just so that I can try and get... I'm going to be starting off somewhere along the edge of the sand here, letting the wind kind of move me over and then trying to curl it back around. I want to end up right out here in front with a minimum wedge to get into the hole, or a minimum short iron or a maximum wedge to get into the hole. Now there is another way that you can do this, and it's something I'm exploring with my lower level account, is that you can come out here. In my lower level account I have an extra mile 6. So it doesn't have all the top spin and it doesn't have a lot of curl. So I'm coming out here and I'm starting off with my white ring right up against there is where I started. And what I found with this club with that kind of curl is that my landing zone here was great. But I actually came out a little bit farther out here and I clipped, and because the farther up this way you go, the rough gets more and more into play. That when I started off with my white ring right on the edge when it was maximum extended, that I clipped that rough and just dribbled out, and I didn't have a really good look. I had to kind of work my way around the trees, but I left there was tons of room over here to the right. So the next time I come here with my lower level account, I'm going to use a Marlin, so you can get this done with a lower level ball. A Marlin. I'm going to start off about a half of my white ring into the fairway and half my white ring onto the rough, and do that max overpower hook shot so that I can see if I can get over here without clipping the rough and get that roll out, so I end up in the same exact spot we're going to end up here, but instead of using a Titan I'm going to use a Marlin. Now what it might be is, like in the weekend round, I may switch this up to the same, because you can get it done with a Titan. You don't necessarily have to bring a Kingmaker, but in the weekend round I may switch this up and see if I have a ball that's 3 power, 2 side spin, 4 wind, so that I can drop that wind down just a little bit. Anything we can do to help us out on the weekend round. It's not necessarily worth using one of those balls, and I've got lots of Titans, so I try and use Titans as often as I can. And Titans are cheaper than Kingmaker, and you can win Titans in the tournament, so that's why you want to be up in the top 10, top 15, so that you can get, especially if you're in the top 10 where you get 30 Titans. And how do you get in the top 10? You shoot the minimum score every round, and you're going to end up top 15, top 10. And if you shoot the minimum score, if you shoot a minus 12 in the opener, or in the qualifier, and a minus 24 in the opener, you go into the weekend round and shoot a minus 24 in most brackets, you're looking at a top 15, and you're going to have really good tiebreakers, so there's a possibility that you could get a top 10. If you're in a Masters rookie bracket, that minus 24 might get you 70th place if you don't have any tiebreakers, but in most of those brackets you're going to be easily top 20, and if you shot that consistent round every level, you're going to be looking at a possible top 10. And picking up 30 Titans to carry with you to the next tournament. The whole thing is that I think a lot of people win, they get those and then they burn those balls during the week, and then when the next tournament comes around they don't have bigger balls to go out there and play because they wasted them playing one-on-one. And one-on-one, normally, especially when you're in the rookie stuff below Tour 7, it's a Marlin Quasar, occasionally a Katana. If I'm practicing a hole, or if I'm trying one of the max overpower hook shots, then I will maybe pop out let's get back in there, what was I thinking? May pop out something just because you're practicing that hole, or you want to stay in touch with that max overpower hook shot. But normally, when I'm practicing and just playing one-on-one, it's a Marlin, Quasar, occasionally Katana. But usually you can get it done with a Marlin and a Quasar. Save your good stuff for the tournaments. Alright, my opponent goes first. Let's see how they're going to go at it. And we got a 3-mile-an-hour wind, and it's rolling, just like I said, it's rolling along that rough area. So we shouldn't have to use any overpower. The wind's going to keep us in the fairway, as long as we don't hit it great to the right. So the goal for your landing area out here is to set yourself up in such a spot that the curl can get you over, but you can still hit a great to the left or the right and still get over. See how our opponent does here. In the drink. Where did you think you were going to go? And go back and watch how they set that shot up. I mean, where did you think that ball was going to go? I don't need all of the top spin. We're right at the red line. It's going to push me 2-6. It's going to push me out into that area. So regardless of what I do, it's going to push me out there. So I want to give myself enough room so that I can hit a great to the left or the right and still end up on the fairway on the other side. Hitting it perfect. Just floating out there. And that looks like I might be in my maximum short iron. I came out on the top of that shadow right there, and I left, so if you go from the top of that shadow to where this rough is, I left the entire shadow out. So I could have pinched that more on the setup and been more in the sand in order to pick up a little bit of distance there. But I'm okay if I'm in my minimum short iron. I actually really, personally, I would prefer to be in my minimum short iron than my maximum wedge. I just feel more comfortable hitting it with the short iron. But either way will work. I have on my Hornet, and there's minimum. Up there's maximum, so I'm at minimum club. I'll go right at it. It's 4-5. At minimum club, it's 2.2 per ring, so there's 4-4. I need to hit it perfect. Hitting it great to the right, and it'll miss. Great to the right. That's great to the right. That's what happens. And the thing is that one of the I'm not happy I missed the shot, but I missed the shot because it didn't hit perfect. What really irritates me is when I hit a great to the right and I end up great to the left, or I miss off of that. So that tells me I set the shot up wrong. So I know I set the shot up right. I know I set the shot up correctly. I just hit a great to the right. So anytime I'm playing and I take a shot like that and I hit and it doesn't go exactly where it's supposed to go, then that tells me I need to really go back and watch that video and see like what's going on that hole and try and learn from that. I'm a silver linings guy. There's always something that you can learn from this. Even when you don't succeed, you can still learn something. What I learned there is my distance was perfect. And what I learned there is that I had the right setup because I ended up great to the right. In the hole. I think in the weekend round, all three of these par fours, you have serious shots of getting eagles. And I think in the weekend round, in order to win, you're going to have to pick up at least two of them on each side. So you're looking for minus 24 as the minimum score. You pick up two of those on each side. That's minus 28. So I think as a starting point in the weekend round, if you want to have any shot at all at a win, you're going to have to shoot a minus 28. But the way that this tournament's going, some of the other holes, the first par 5, hole 3, you got a serious shot at Albie. And I think, it's not going to be out of the realm of possibilities that we could see some 31s, 32s, or something over 30 in the weekend round. So as a minimum, I'm going to want to go in with the idea of a minus 28 as the minimum score just to be looking at top 5. But minus 24 will get you pretty high up in the standings. All right, that was hole number 7 of the City of Lights tournament and Tuesday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.